Well, good morning. Today is St. Patrick's Day, a beautiful St. Patrick's Day. I didn't even think the sun was supposed to come out today, but happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Irish folks out there and non-Irish folks. Have a Guinness or 7. I probably will later. Anyways, I forgot to film an intro for this video, and it's kind of been recorded over the last 2 weeks doing a bunch of random stuff. So if you want to see how we got the Cobra looking like this, along with some stuff on the interior and some other bits here and there, stay tuned. But lucky for you guys, we're getting right to work in this video, so let's get into it. Well, I don't even know how or where this segment of the video is going to fall and what video it's even going to be in, but I'm kind of between videos on the old Cobra right now. I just want to keep, productivity going in the garage. So I got a couple little things I'm going to tackle tonight that have just been, been meaning to get done. So they're over here on the bench, so let me show you and we'll get to work. So here's the few small items that are on my to-do list. First one, biggest one I think, is the seat dive. If you guys watched the interior restoration on this thing, it was quite the undertaking, and the only thing I wasn't able to complete totally was my repair to the driver's side bolster. There was a tear/rip in the bolster, which I repaired, and some fading on the leather, and now I just wanted to get the color right to re-dye at least that bolster. And my order came in from Seat Doctors a week or two ago. This should be enough to do both seats, but I think I'm gonna try and get away with just doing one bolster because everything else over there is in pretty good shape. If you guys watched the interior restoration on this car, it was fairly in-depth and we got a lot done. The only thing I was not able to get done was finishing the repair on the driver's seat. If you watched the video, you saw that there was a hole in the bolster and as well as some faded leather on that bolster. I wanted to make sure we got the dye absolutely correct to make sure that it looks factory. And Seat Doctors was highly recommended, so I ordered up a bottle of their dark charcoal Ford leather dye. So I'm going to dye that bolster, hopefully bring that thing back to as close to, I won't call it showroom, but really, really nice driver condition as we can. So there's that. This is a gauge bezel, and this was sent to me by a viewer of the channel. Let me show you where that's going. Some of you may have noticed this in the interior video. It certainly bothers me and clearly bothered at least one or two of you enough in the video to send me something like this, but here's what's going on. We got 3 gauges here, and 2 out of the 3 have a silver bezel. The AEM wideband is the odd man out. And I remember when I was putting this in, because I've installed a ton of these AEM widebands in various cars over the years, they give you the choice when you buy it with either a black bezel or a silver bezel. Whoever installed it in this car clearly chose the black one. It's the wrong choice, especially if you got, other gauges that are silver. The good news is a silver bezel screws right on. And unfortunately, the previous owner did not include the silver bezel, so I didn't have it. But a viewer of the channel said, hey, I've got a silver one laying around. Let me send it to you. And boom, look at that. I just apologize, the lighting in here is not great right now, but we'll get a better view later. But now we got all 3 gauges, or all three gauges have a silver bezel. Looks much more complete. And we already installed it. Boom, done. Check. And we'll put this in the car, or maybe even my pile of, you know what, we're putting this in my pile for the next project that comes through that has all black bezel gauges. But yeah, huge shout out to Derek from Salt Lake City, Utah for sending me that bezel. That was very kind of you. He's obviously a viewer of the channel. He's got an AMG just like me and, clearly into stuff like this. So Derek, thank you very much for sending me that. Everyone who watches the channel can now thank you as well. We got all matching gauges. You the man, Derek. All right, up next is a quick and easy one. That's going to be our Cobra snake emblem here. If you guys remember, I ordered this and they shipped it to Georgia. So it wasn't here in time for the front end, but it's basically just going to replace this, kind of faded one that had fallen off. We'll put this guy in the glove box because I think he's a good luck charm. But yeah, this was like 19 bucks. Should look nice in the front there. And then the last thing is the build plaque that was on the original motor. I didn't get rid of it. Of course, I saved it. Even though it's not technically the original motor anymore, I think it belongs up there on the valve cover, original to the car. So we'll get some double-sided tape and get that remounted up there. So yeah, there's 4 easy things that I'm gonna try and bang out right now. One of them's already done, so I guess it's 3. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. looks like we're gonna need to add some more stuff to the list. But yeah, just knocked out those 4 things in, well, originally it was supposed to be 4 things, now it was 5 in very little time, but it's been like a week since I've talked to you guys. I've been all over the place. But anyways, let's start with the seats. You guys gotta see these things. I'm so happy with how this came out. Shout out to Seat Doctors, not sponsored at all, but guys, look at this match. It is perfect. And so I did this bolster and this bolster. So the lower bolster on the left side and the upper bolster. And I mean, if we stand, sorry, I'm kind of in tight quarters here in the lift bay, but can you even see that there was a rip in that seat? I mean, you would literally have to get up on this thing, and the only giveaway is that there's a tiny little bump right there, just because, you know, when I added some foam back in and then epoxied over it, there was just a little bit, you know, a little bit of a bump, but I'm really nitpicking that. If I was buying this car, for example, I came to look at this car, you might look right past that and go, yep, bolster's not ripped, no, you know, no issues at all. This is like a 20,000 mile bolster. I mean, it just looks really, really good. You guys know these bolsters get worn out so easily getting in and out of these low cars, and we just brought this thing back to life. I'm going to put up some B-roll footage right now of how this seat overall looked when I first took it out of the car. You know, the leather was cracking. There was the giant hole. The microfiber suede was pilling and looked terrible. And just look at it now. With just, I think I have in total $35 invested. $11 for the patch kit and $24 for the Seat Doctors leather repair die. Not too shabby. They're a little bit shiny right now. I just put some leather conditioner on them, but that will, you know, kind of matte down as it absorbs. You want to make sure that it continues to stay beautiful. You guys remember all the white cracking that was right there? Completely gone. Sure, you can still see the texturing a little bit, but it's no longer white and like in your face. And more importantly, there's not a giant, you know, finger-sized or thumb-sized hole rip in the bolster anymore. So that's awesome. The interior is now 100% done, and it looks spectacular in here. I still got, you know, my towel down there and stuff. But you guys, if you didn't see the full interior video, I'll leave it linked up here. But the only thing I had left to do was to fix that bolster, and that's done. Also, because the 4-ounce kit was more than plenty to do, you know, 2 seats, I still have a ton of it. I also did the passenger side bolster, which had some wear here, and I mean, it's completely gone. Passenger seat looks mint. So, seats are done. Interior is done. What else did I say I was going to do? Oh yeah, the Cobra emblem. That was easy. 2 bolts. No big deal. Nothing too exciting there, but our front end is looking as complete and new and awesome as ever. Under the hood, it is a little bit dusty under here because I haven't been under here too much, but it still looks spectacular, and boom! Engine build plate is back on for the first time since this thing came out of the car, basically, when I was painting the valve covers in the 20-degree weather. And I think that really ties everything together, even though it's not the original motor. You know, this has got to stay with the car. It's SVT heritage. This block originally would have been assembled at the Romeo engine plant, even though it didn't come in this car. So that really ties everything together under there. I already showed you guys the gauge bezel. One thing I decided to knock out with an extra 15 minutes I had last night is the third brake light. I don't think I've touched on this since I bought the car either, when it was still on the trailer, but the third brake light, extremely common that they crack on these cars. And this one was no exception. They just get brittle, and the areas that they mount are too thin, and honestly a bad design from Ford from the get-go. Almost all of them crack. The ones that don't are usually low mileage garage cars, or guys that do what you should do here, which is actually 2 things. One, if you have a third brake light on your Cobra that's not cracked, I recommend you come in here and loosen these Torx screws a little bit. I think they were over-tightened from the factory, which puts stress in these 2 areas, and these are where they always crack. This one was cracked right here. Not only that, but you get all this like micro cracking in the optic or the lens there. So I replaced this one with the LMR unit, which is actually also a sequential unit, which looks pretty sweet. So it kind of starts in the middle and expands out. That looks cool. You guys probably saw that I Started the screws with the impact, and then once they got close, I came in and just finger tightened them, or not finger tightened them, but used the screwdriver and just barely snugged them up. So making sure these bolts isn't too tight is one part. The other part is, as much as you can, try not to slam the trunk, because when you slam the trunk, this thing kind of rattles around, and after years and years and years of doing that, that's eventually going to crack this guy. But third brake light done. Just something real quick I wanted to knock out. And one more thing to cross off the list. I always hate throwing away OEM Ford parts, but this thing's had it. Oh yeah, and we can't get rid of our little luck charm here, so I think we'll put this guy in the glove box. There you go, buddy. Also, quick side note, guys, if there are any other YouTubers out there, or film guys, or vloggers, or whatever you want to call it, that are experts with cameras, I'm in the market to reinvest some more in the channel and get a dedicated DSLR or nice camera to continue making these videos on. What prompted this is the Galaxy S22 Ultra that I've filmed almost all of my videos on had an untimely meeting with the concrete floor the other day. So half the screen is now, not looking so good. So this is actually being filmed on my new Galaxy S24 Ultra, which, could probably do the exact same job, maybe a little bit better for years to come, but I think it's time to invest in a nice DSLR camera, and the price of a phone seems to be about the same. So if I'd rather have my phone as one thing and, get a DSLR camera that can, be on the tripod and, be a little bit more secure and hopefully not fall to the concrete floor. So yeah, looking for recommendations for a, good camera that's going to shoot, 1080 and above at 60 frames per second and above, and, someone like me can use and is also not going to completely break the bank. You guys know the deal. If you guys have suggestions, leave them down in the comments. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys. Well, in the spirit of the way that this video is shaping up, I think that we're going to continue with checking off random things off my list over there. So what's next? By the way, it's been like 8 days since I've been in the garage. Just been traveling for work and for, vacation. So looking to get back into it, but that's kind of why this video is all jumbled around, as I just was filming as I had time. But anyways, over here on our beautiful 2003 Sonic Blue Cobra, wheels are looking sharp. I've decided to do some stuff in this area. More specifically, this car has an aftermarket shorty antenna, and that's fine, but just like everything else on this car, let's see if I can get it to focus. Focus. Okay, there we go. It's like rusty, just kind of looks dingy. So I'm going to take this off, give it a quick coat of satin or matte black. And then this wiper cowl is faded. Looks a lot like the, this did over here, and our fog light bezels, which we restored in the front end video. They look exactly the same. So now this kind of looks bad. So I'd like to get these out, give them a coat of paint, probably with that SEM trim black stuff again. I'll probably give these wipers a quick coat of flat black as well. They are super dingy. They just don't look good. I think the wipers are okay. They'll clean up all right. They're nice Rain-X. And then the last thing I'm going to do is these hood vents. These are the factory hood vents, but you can see through them. Normally there's like a little rain flap or rain guard on the bottom. One of the previous owners removed them. That's kind of a common mod on these cars, and these look okay. But a subscriber of the channel reached out and said, hey, I'm 3D printing vents for these 2003 Cobras. Are you interested in trying out a set? To which I responded, yeah, sure am. So Chris Tress from Venom Prototyping was kind enough to send me these vents right here. And these mimic the 4 billet hood vents that are popular, or a popular mod on these cars. And the 4 vents are beautiful. I had them on my red Cobra back in the day. They look great, but they are kind of pricey. I mean, it's billet machined aluminum. That's not cheap to make. I think Ford sells them for like 180 or 190 bucks. So Chris has 3D printed these vents that look just like the 4 ones. Super cool design. And I think he sells them for $50. So I'm going to leave all his information in the description. So if you guys want to get a set of, solid vents for your Terminator, your 03, 04 Cobra for, an amazing price, thanks to the advances in 3D printing in the last, 5-ish years, we can get stuff like this that's basically just printed out of plastic and, is going to look fantastic. It's kind of like a factory plastic, textured finish. Should look really, really nice. Should be a pretty easy install too, just installs from the back, just like the factory ones do. So that should be a couple things we can knock out on the list right now. So let's do a little less chit chat and a little more work. Well, the rattle can restoration continues and never ceases to impress. By the way, quick side note, I apologize if I sound like Patrick Mahomes, aka Kermit the Frog. It appears that the excessive travel, lack of sleep, and less than ideal diet while traveling has landed me with a bit of a head cold, so bear with me, we're fighting through it. But yeah, I got the cowl. Excuse me. But yeah, we got the cowl completely restored. I don't know why I'm using quotations there. We restored these things. They look awesome. Looks like they just came out of the plastic mold back in 2003. Just a quick coat of SEM trim black, nice satin finish, looks brand new. Used some satin black metal paint on the wipers. They were faded down to metal on the sides here, so that is just much better. The wipers cleaned up, or the blades themselves cleaned up with just a little bit of degreaser and some elbow grease. What a difference for $0 invested just using spray paint I had around, a little bit of prep work, and
That looks much better than the dried out white, just crusty looking, you know, thing that was there before. Same thing with the antenna. Real quick scuff and shoot. Good to go. Oh yeah, got the hood vents in. They look fantastic. And I actually gave these a coat of paint too. They're plastic. They can be painted. Just make sure you use a paint that is going to adhere to plastic. So I naturally use the same stuff that I used up here. The reason I did that was I got them in. They fit great. They look great. But the plastic that Venom Prototyping used on these had more of a gray finish to it, which would have been fine if it was, you know, the old stuff here. But I got this all in and it was nice and black. And then I looked at this and, you know, they didn't match. And that kind of bothered my closet OCD. So gave these a quick coat of the same black paint, quick scuff, shoot, boom, looking really good. Another reason I did that was because while I was waiting for the paint to dry, I got bored, decided to restore the factory vents here that were equally gray and faded. And I was like, damn, that looks good. So I decided to do it to the Venom Prototyping ones as well. Also, quick side note, earlier in the video, I said that someone sent me some bezels. It appears that 2 of you sent me bezels. So to the person that sent me a whole bunch of them, big shout out, man. Really appreciate that. I didn't realize that 2 of you had, you know, got me covered, sending me a whole bunch of AEM bezels. So thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. I think I got your name here somewhere. Dakota Smith. Dakota Smith, thank you for all those bezels. Much appreciated, and thank you for watching. Okay, what is next? I think about 100 of you guys commented on this in the last video, and you're absolutely right. This thing looks like a 4x4. We have got way too much wheel gap there. And I've driven this thing around this week, so the suspension should be completely settled. And we got the old ride height measurement here, almost 4 fingers. Way too many. Like 3.5 to 4 fingers. Stock springs up front. In the rear, this thing has H&R lowering springs. We're at like just about 2. And I would like for this thing to have just a little bit of rake to it. So just a tad lower in the front. Right now we got some sort of Carolina squat going on. The front is higher than the rear, which is completely backwards. So we got to bring the front down. The good news is, and I described this in a previous video, the Cobra springs are linear, meaning the rate that they, you know, resist compression is the same regardless of where you are in the coil, which translates to you can cut them without affecting ride quality. So that's what I'm going to do. It's not going to cost us anything other than some time. I should have done this, you know, while I had them out already when the motor was going back in the car, and we wouldn't even be in this situation, but I was just rushing to get the car back on the road. So that's the bad news. The other good news is that it's really not that bad. You just, you know, drop the ARM down, drop 2 shock bolts, remove the caliper, drop the spring out, cut a coil off, and put it back together. We'll have to see once I get it out. I'll take some measurements, but I think I'm going to cut about 1 full coil off of each side. That should lower it about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit more. We'll see. And hopefully get this thing looking right as far as the ride height. So yeah, let's get this thing on the lift, get those springs out, cut them up, get them back in, get the altitude on this thing more down where it needs to be. Let's go.
Like he's on fire?
Oh my God, help me! I don't want to die! Oh, stop, drop, and roll!
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby!
I'm on fire! You're not on fire!
Uh-oh. Hopefully I didn't cut too much. We've got this thing down on the ground. Shoo! That looks so much better. Absolutely amazing what 1.5 inches or 2 inches down will do. I did notice that, so the plan was to cut one full coil off of both sides. That's kind of the general consensus on these cars as to what's going to get you a really aggressive but still drivable ride height. I did find, and I did notice this last time I did this, the isolator, the top isolator was missing on the driver's side. And I did notice the driver's side sat a little bit lower before I started all this. So I cut like 7/8 or 3/4 of a coil on this side and one full coil on this side. But she's down there. I mean, the suspension hasn't settled yet, but we've got less than one finger here. So hopefully I didn't overdo it. This side is a little bit lower. Worst case scenario, I guess I could add an isolator on this side, but I was just bouncing the suspension up front and didn't hear anything hitting. So I don't know. I think at this point, let's first of all pull it outside, see how it looks, and maybe take it down the road and see if we hear any rubbing. But that is so much better. It looks so hot. Phew! Love it. All right, guys, I want to take a quick break from the Cobra action to introduce today's video sponsor, Auxito. They were nice enough to send me this beautiful jump starter and air compressor combo. It comes in a nice compact carrying case that can fit behind the seat of your car or under the seat of your car. Not only is this a compact, high-power car jump starter to jump your car battery when it's dead or any other vehicle that has a battery, but it also has a built-in LED light and a built-in air compressor so you can air up tires, you can air up basketballs, baseballs, anything else. On the side, there's even a USB-C port and a USB 2.0 port so you can charge your devices. Me personally, I'm going to keep one of these in every single one of my vehicles just in case. Boom. Real life situation number one. It's almost springtime, almost time to mow the lawn, but after sitting all winter, my lawnmower's battery is dead. Not to worry, we've got the Auxito jump pack. Let me show you how easy it is. Simply connect positive to positive, negative to negative, pull back this little flap that's labeled for jumping vehicles, connect them, power button, that's it. Let's fire this thing up. She fires right up, thanks to Auxito. Adding air to your tires is just as easy. Simply insert the pressure you want the tire inflated to, hit go. Best part, it shuts off automatically once you reach the desired pressure. There's going to be a link in the description to get your very own Auxito 2-in-1 jump starter and air compressor, and if you want 15% off, use code CHRIS461. All the information's in the description. Thank you to Auxito for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get back to some Cobra content. Look at that. What a difference. You guys were right. I mean, I knew it. Of course I knew it, but you know, this thing was way too high before and so aggressive now. Slight rake from the rear. We still got to get the suspension to settle a little bit, but man, does that look good. All right, let's go for a ride. See if we hear any rubbing. See if I went a little bit too far. Let's go. Also in the B-roll footage, you guys probably saw I was hooking up my oil pressure sending unit finally, and got that thing in there, so now our oil pressure gauge works. Good to go. Also my suction cup mount that I usually put on the windshield to kind of get you guys right here just broke. So I don't know how much filming we're going to do in the car today, but I've been looking at the Insta360 action cameras. I can't find my GoPro anywhere, and they seem to have good reviews. If you guys have any experience with those, let me know. I'm looking to get a better, point of view driving camera angles for you guys. So if any of you guys have any experience with that, let me know. Bit of a scrape there. Also, I'm the idiot that left his sunglasses on the plane this week, so found these PBR sunglasses that I got at a bar for free years ago in the basement. So got to get some new sunglasses, but car's running awesome as usual, and I've only heard one scrape over really big bumps on this side, so I might need to get an isolator on that side just to bring it up, like, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, half an inch, we'll see. But car's running awesome. It sounds so good. Cockpit views, baby. Woo! Man, if you don't think that looks good, I can't help you. Well, guys, I really wanted to get you some, driving clips of this car. I know I haven't got a ton yet, but two things. One, like I said, my camera mount broke. And the second one is, as I suspected, this side is way too low. You can see where it's been rubbing the tire. So I think the solution is I'm going to get an isolator for this side, because this side is absolutely perfect. Just low enough that it looks sick, but doesn't rub. So I'm gonna get an isolator for the driver's side here. I'll level it out and it should be perfect, but I'm absolutely in love with this stance for no money involved here. It looks incredible. Got our hood vents in, got the cowl area all completely restored. Got our gauges all matching. What else did we do? Hooked up our oil pressure sensor, the antenna over there. Got the seat completely fixed. What a difference. Again, I got my towel there so my greasy pants don't get on the suede, but I mean, you can't even tell it's been repaired. It looks awesome. Incredible. Absolutely love that. Snake in the grill. New snake in the grill, rather. What else did I do? Oh yeah, third brake light. That's all fixed up. Boom. This thing is really coming along, guys. From where it was when I got it to now, I am stoked with this thing. Hey. Trying to shoot a video over here. Well, that's going to do it for this video, you guys. This thing is scheduled to hit the dyno in less than a week and a half, I think. So this thing is ready to put down some power, see what it can do, see what numbers it puts down, and make sure it's ready to, do a full pull all the way to redline, which I've been hesitant to do just because I want everything. I want the tune to be perfect. Also got some cosmetic stuff we're going to be tackling before then, just to, fill the gap. So this thing is going to be 100% done before you know it. Hope you guys will tune in for the next video. Give this one a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We'll catch you in the next one.